Okay, we're good.
All right. Good evening, everyone. We're going to start this evening with a presentation from Woodard and Curran, their annual presentation on our water and sewer. Come on up. Sure, no, absolutely. Relax. Sure.
I guess we'll start
Unless
with
you want to stand, you
presentations.
can.
What's that? We'll start with presentations before we sit.
Here's this.
Introduction.
So everybody knows me. I'm Will. I'm the manager, licensed operator for Maple Shade for all the water and wastewater systems.
Ryan Sullivan. I'm the area manager for Woodard and Curran. I've been here, I think, the last at least 2, maybe 3 years. Relatively new to Woodard and Curran, but involved in the project since late 2001.
I am Anthony Catalano, senior principal and partner with Woodard and Curran. Been with Woodard and Curran for 19 years now, and it's a pleasure to be here. I'm going to do the presentation, and I'm going to mention a few points related to grant and funding opportunities.
Great.
And my name is Robert Cuzzy. I'm Assistant Project Manager for Woodard and Curran. And be with them 2 years in September. And just hope to move right things along.
Fantastic. Have a seat, relax.
And before we get started, we spoke about this last year. The award finally came in for best tasting water of
Nice.
2023.
Nice.
If you
Nice.
could display that for us.
Certainly will.
Yeah.
For the tax office.
Yep, not a problem. Great. Thank you.
They changed it up. It was a plaque in
Now they give you a
2018,
water
but
drop.
now it's
That's a water drop.
It's a water drop.
Awesome.
So we went through introductions. We'll be quick. We do this every year, but we'd just like to get in front of you to talk about some of the things that have gone on with the utility in town and what Woodard and Curran provides for the town of Maple Shade. And we appreciate you having us in. We appreciate the time. Thank you for allowing us to come and talk to you a little bit about what it is we do for you guys. So just a little agenda. It looks long. There's a lot of pictures in here, so we'll go through some of the highlights and things that have gone on through the year. So a little bit of an update on Woodard and Curran. We've been with the town for quite a long time. We've got 7 new O&M projects that have come in the last year and a half. We anticipate somewhere about there, and due to a merger, we didn't move up from 5 to 4, but the top 2 combined, so we're the 4th largest O&M provider in the country right now. And we are also looking to grow in the region. Anthony's with us as a representative for our business development group, and also, as he said, to talk about some funding opportunities that there may be available. Safety, it's always priority 1 for Woodard and Curran. We had an excellent safety record, bit of an anomaly in 2023, but we're back on track as a company overall this year. So annual review, we renewed our contract in 2020. We had some staffing changes in 23, you can see up there, and we're always promoting the people that work for us, the operators and management, to obtain new licenses, new certifications. So you have a summary down there of just some of the things that have gone on.
Can you pull that mic a little closer to
Oh,
you so
sorry.
the folks
Absolutely.
in the back can hear?
Sure. Is that better?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So health and safety, again, it's a huge focus for us as a company. 3,435 consecutive days without a lost time incident, about 9.5 years. And we do conduct a lot of training on site. We've got our own in-house health and safety people that train in all the different aspects of health and safety that we deal with. We've got a safety tracking program, and we've got involved some of the DPW people in our training also. Again, some employee development here. Just kind of a summary of the different things that we've done over the year. And as it said in the bottom, first aid and AED, we had some of the public works crew in for training with us. Compliance, Will, do you want to
Sure.
start on compliance?
So we changed this outline of this presentation last year because we didn't want we wanted to touch on major topics. We didn't want to go down in the weeds of cycling valves and things like that. Try to keep it fresh and to the point. So this slide is similar to the slide that we presented last year. The only change on that is the first bullet, it's the EPA administrative order. That's actually happened back in 2021. So just wanted to touch on that. we're under administrative order for sewer system overflows. The majority of those sewer system overflows happen because of additional water that's in the wastewater collection system and the wastewater plant. As you can see there, we reported, all those SSOs have to be reported to the EPA under that administrative order and also the NJDEP. We had 8 of them last year, and most of them were caused by excessive rain events, sump pump connections, things like that. So DEP, we have annual inspections every year. We have great relationships with our enforcement and permit writers. Board of Health, that happens every 2 to 3 years. They come in and do an inspection. The DCA fire inspection we had last year for the state fire inspectors. We just went through a fire inspection 2 weeks ago with the Maple Shade Fire Department. Wastewater and water sampling, water's 100% compliant. We had 1 exceedance for chlorine residual in our wastewater from excessive rain event. We're always looking to help with the community, volunteer events. This slide's pretty similar to last year. It's all the same things that we do. If you guys know of any of the volunteer events, all of our employees are allotted 8 hours a year, so we're always looking, to help out when we can. We try to get involved with the donations and everything, sponsoring teams. The one team we did sponsor last year, they won their bracket for national ball hockey, and 2 of our employees are actually on that team, so we're pretty proud of them. And then this slide here is just to talk about our continued collaboration between RVE, Maple Shade Township, and Woodard and Curran. We tried to add some photos in here this year to show you guys, exactly, where the tax money's going, and it's like some before and after pictures to give you kind of like an idea of the improvements, some of the improvements we made over the last or the last year, and some that are going on right now. So.
Oh, I think I skipped one.
The screw pumps.
Yeah. So this is the wastewater treatment chlorine contact tank. The wastewater plant was built in 1988. Concrete will last forever. You take care of it. That's sandblasting it, getting the mortar back to the original surface condition, and then putting protective coating on it. So this project is actually going on right now, and you can see clearly the before and after pictures. So the one on the left, that's the one side of the tank we took down first, and you can see some after pictures there. This is another project that's under construction right now. We're hoping to get our screw pumps back within 6 weeks. So if anybody lives in the
Snickers.
anybody lives in the vicinity of the plant and at night and it was loud, that's what was causing it. Unfortunately, it took a while to get contracts in place and get equipment in for bypass pumping. So the equipment had to be overhauled, but we couldn't shut it off.
So there were 2, there's 2 that.
2 out of the 3.
Because I remember years ago, I think the middle one had to be replaced.
Yeah, they run all the time.
Yeah.
And we
Yeah,
got
the 2 were running and the one in the middle. had to
we
be-
got 11
Third
years
one will
out of
probably
them.
have to be serviced next year.
Yeah,
Not me.
sorry, I didn't mean to.
TV connection.
Yeah, we lost
I
that
don't know.
connection there.
Yeah. I can go check that connection.
Yeah, they run all the time.
Yeah,
So
well, that's what brings the water up.
yeah.
It's a lot of.
Oh,
A
there
lot of
you
work.
go. I saw you come.
Touch on a couple of these.
Yeah, so a couple of the projects that are complete that we did to make the systems more efficient. This is a valve actuator project we did at the water treatment plant. They're all automated valves on all of our filters, our backwash, our scouring lines. There were 40 valves replaced in that project, and it made the system able to be automated a lot more easily, and it guarantees that flushes are being done on time within the filters, low pressures, and what have you. So it was a project that was needed to get the most efficient operation out of the water treatment plant filters that we could. It's been very reliable for us.
Text.
Trying.
He's trying.
No.
I hear the click.
I don't know where the sensor is. I'm
Click
hitting
in
it.
there. Yeah, hold on, I can go back.
Stand on one leg.
You're fired.
Yeah, you had one job.
Good job, right?
The clicker.
Guy. I don't know where the sensor is.
It's here, hold on, it's not moving.
Can you move it, Sue?
I'm trying, yeah.
Oh, it must be frozen.
TV's frozen, it looks like.
Technical difficulties.
Hold on, somebody, hold on, what's this?
You have to describe it.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple other pictures while we're waiting to get the pictures up. A couple of other projects that we are, proud to have had done, and most were done with in-house staff after the equipment was purchased. We put in new polymer blending units. They're in our belt filter press facility. The polymer helps to draw the sludge together, so it can be pressed more efficiently. And with the addition of the new polymer blending units, stretches the polymer a little bit further, the molecules in the polymer, which gives you a little bit more efficiency out of your polymer usage. So that was a big improvement. And like I said, after the units were purchased, they were installed by Woodard & Kern employees. We're proud to have the staff to be able to do that. Along with, we had a new grinder installed on our sludge line that feeds the belt filter presses. That was installed again by Woodard & Kern staff along with another grinder at one of our local pump stations. And we just had a blower project done. We have 2 new blowers. They're a lot more quieter, which makes it better for the residents that live around the plant during the night, because they do run during the night. And with the automation of the blowers and our mixer, we were able to tie them into our SCADA system, so that's all run automatically as well. So again, efficiency, savings, and makes it a lot more easier on the operators as well. So proud of that project as well. So if the pictures come up, you'll get to see them.
Yeah.
But if
We
not,
did have a couple other
we'll
pictures,
just
but-
keep going
No
as to move the meeting
Yes.
along. Thank you.
It's all right.
You were going to talk about emerging contaminants?
You.
Yeah,
That was
your
you
part.
last.
So
Good try, Ben.
just to keep you informed, I know that we've been working together looking for grant opportunities. One of the emerging contaminant is PFAS. There's a number of lawsuits out there. I know with 3M and DuPont where there's been settlements. So we do have in our wells, right now the current, New Jersey is one of the few states that regulates, and it's 12 parts per billion. The new federal laws that are going to go into effect in 2029 are 4 parts per billion. And so we have a little time frame because we have, in our wells, we're right at 4. So we could be in compliance, but we don't want to take the risk of not being in compliance. And there is money out there being allocated towards this, so we're working together, making sure that we're in those in the process, applying for those funding. But the challenge is everybody's pursuing these monies. There's a limited number of contractors out there. There's 2 technologies we'd have to focus in. I know that we had previously designed for carbon removal there, for PCE removal. We haven't had to do that, but we have a design in place for that. So that's something that probably would be the best path forward. But we're following the funding so that we can get in earlier, because we do have a permit in place that we could add carbon at that plant. The other emerging contaminant that's probably going to be regulated in the future is 1,4-dioxane, and you're a lucky town, you have it in all your wells. But again,
I don't think that's.
we're in the process, basically UV peroxide is the treatment that you do, and then you have to take the peroxide out with carbon. But again, we're tracking that, we're following that, and obviously if we do, we're looking to possibly do a Kings Highway plant replacement, and we've been dealing with some of the congressional money to start that project, and we're looking to purchase land, which we're moving forward on that. And whatever we would do there, we would put treatment in there that would address all these emerging contaminants with the treatment process. So again, we're working with Woodard & Kern. They have a very good grants program. They are always alerting everybody to those opportunities, and so we're tracking that, and we'll keep you guys apprised, but we're probably going to have to take action in some of the future capital, but hopefully we get grant money for it. That's the end game. The lead service lines, that's another one that has to be completed within the next 8 years. We've been proactive. We put a application to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank. They're just backlogged. It's been with them for 8 months now. We're waiting for that. But the requirement is that we have to actually, any lead or galvanized lines, we have to replace them all the way to the water meter into the house. So we'll have to keep the resident. We know which lines in town. We've been tracking that. Some are unknown. The ones that are unknown, we actually have to go at the curb stop. We'll dig down, and we'll have to check the material on both sides of that and make a determination whether they have to be replaced. Again, there's a good chance we'll get 50% grant money for that. We're waiting for that application to be approved. So those are, obviously, you have another round of testing to come up with the UMCRs, where they identify new contaminants we have to test. That's every 5 years that comes around. And I think you guys have the next round coming shortly. December. So again, after they do all those testing, they're always looking, what's the next thing we're going to regulate?
Yeah, out of 4,600 connection service lines that are in town, just to rest your ease a little bit, there is 0 lead service lines. There's 0 lead going directly into a house. They reclassified and they considered galvanized lines as lead. So those are the ones we've identified, and we have some unknowns, like Dennis said, we've got to identify to see what it is.
And a number of years ago, they put the lead and copper rule in place, and we had to go random or pick places most likely to have a lead contaminant. And their whole procedure, where you have to be the first draw in the morning, is, like you should let your water run before you drink, but you had to do the first draw in the morning. And with that testing procedure, the town did not have, they were in compliance with the lead and copper rule. So it doesn't seem to be a problem in the township, but we still have to follow through with these regulations that sort of came out of a Flint issue and so forth.
May I ask a question with regard to that? Is there any time frame in terms of when a house was built that they use particular types of pipes that would help you find out, or no?
It depends if the line was replaced or not.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
I would say galvanized
Yeah.
was what, 1900 to 1920, something to that effect.
There is
Copper
certain
came
time
out.
periods that you can say that it's more likely that would have been
Right.
the situation. Some of the older copper pipes would have used some lead in soldering, but again, that's not. And the other thing is, we keep a very balanced pH in our water, and we do corrosion. So the water that we're putting out the system's not as aggressive as maybe you would see in some towns. So, very pure water wants to absorb things into it. So, not that we don't have pure water, but it's looking for minerals and stuff, and so it will actually start dissolving and taking things if it's sitting there for a long period of time and not moving. So that's why in the morning, turn the faucet on, let it run a little bit before you take a cup of water.
And if I could, I don't want to be repetitive. I think that, Dennis, you covered most of it for us. So again, I don't want to be repetitive on that. I just wanted you all to be aware that, or I want to reiterate the partnership that we've had with Dennis and RVE has worked very well, in particular on the grant and funding side, where we will stay in touch and share information. We do, you heard earlier, we do have a grant and funding team that is not 1 or 2 people. It's an entire team that supports our municipal clients. We've secured in excess of, without having the slides on board, I'm going to go ahead and peek over here, but it's in excess of $1.9 billion over the last 3 years for all of our municipal clients nationally. So again, we're committed to supporting our municipal clients with grant and funding opportunities. And when I say committed, it's not necessarily, hey, we'll do this application for you, cut a purchase order for whatever it is. It's really more higher level and being strategic, and that's where we've been successful. understanding how the programs work, in many cases having the relationships to get the information that we need to be able to, and as Dennis and the team here knows, package it the right way. Our job is really to give you the highest probability for success to win whatever awards are available. So I did want to mention that. Earmark funding, I don't know to what extent you all have pursued that, but that's certainly an opportunity. Dennis mentioned the congressional spending. We do feel and we emphasize that it should be looked at both the Senate and the House levels. That's where you maximize the amount of money that you can receive, whether it's $2 or $3 million, whatever we're successful with. But again, it's important to go to both representatives when you are submitting, and that has been our experience. We've had a lot of success with earmark funding, in particular this past year in New York. I will highlight that there were 1 or 2 that were environmental justice area communities, but there were also 2 or 3 that were not. And again, that had to do with the way we packaged the documents and explained the importance of the water main replacements, of the water monitoring stations where they received funding. And in another case, it was waterfront redevelopment for green infrastructure. And in each of those cases, it was about $2 million for each of those. So wanted to highlight that. You heard about the water treatment plant. We've mentioned in the past, and I think it's worth following up with Maple Shade and our team related to potential opportunities to offset costs for property acquisition and costs related to the water treatment plant. The DEP does have programs, and they've encouraged us to follow up with them to get more information, and we think that that's an avenue that that could or should be pursued as well. And then lastly, related to the EPA administrative order, this is important, so I am going to read this as I collaborated with my grant and funding team on this, but the DEP is revising its SRF programs for 2025 to increase funds and project rankings for CSO and SSO and stormwater-related projects. This is obviously helpful for the administrative order. And specifically, they're looking to assign an additional 600 points to CSO and SSO projects when they're submitted for funding. So something that should be looked at. The last thing I just want to mention is, and you all may be aware of this, but I'll mention it anyway, the Burlington County Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan, which is due, I believe, at the end of this year. You may have, but if you haven't, important to keep track of that, and if it's possible to put information there related to any kind of resiliency or disaster type issues. It will benefit you if you then go and consider pursuing funding through FEMA by including it in that plan. So those were some of the highlights I wanted to have in here. We certainly will follow up with the Maple Shade team to dig a little deeper into some of these opportunities to see if there's an opportunity to secure the funding. And again, our role would be to work with you all on the strategy side to see what makes sense and what's the best way to submit it, working together with Dennis and the RVE team.
Anthony, just on the Kings Highway water plant, we started conversation with FEMA because the existing plant's in a floodway. So there could be up to 95%, but it's challenging, it's very competitive, but we certainly would welcome any input you guys have to help win that proposal.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yep.
And we did supply everything to the county for the hazard mitigation plan.
Perfect.
So
I figured
we're
you
working
were
very closely.
on it, but
Yep,
we
working
saw
very
that
closely.
come up when we did our own due diligence, and I just wanted to bring it up. So that's good news, and we'll stay in touch on that. Yeah.
Do you have any questions for us or anything in particular?
I have one.
Sure.
Good, good.
Do you ever do tours for the students to go and see how the
Yeah.
water system, so that they understand when they throw things down the toilet where it goes and
No,
what
that's
damage
right.
it can cause?
Have the principal or science teacher, whoever, have them reach out to me.
Yeah, that'd be
would
great.
I just think that is such a great
Oh, yeah.
thing. When I first got on council, I took a tour and I was just so impressed because nobody knows what happens to it once you put it goes down the drain. And also too, the other thing with the overflow, is there any ideas that you have that could help to get
part of my report tonight, but
I
yeah.
don't know.
We have a meeting
Yeah, I know
tomorrow.
it's not part, I mean, but
I
it's
mean-
just, we're, what's the consequences of this happening, continuing to happen, and people not stopping
The
putting
health
their sump
effect
pumps?
is you're essentially putting untreated wastewater into a creek or on the roadway.
Okay,
That makes it
because,
into a creek.
because it's not getting
And then
processed.
if the system gets too hydraulically overloaded, like what happened to us a month ago when we got that 4 inches of rain within less than 12 hours, we were having, 20 calls from residents, the sewage couldn't get out of their house.
Right.
And everything was, we had the whole entire staff, it was on a Saturday.
And then you had
We
the
were all
issue
here,
on
we
73,
were popping all the
correct?
manholes and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
But everything was full. There was nowhere for it to go.
Right, right.
So
So it was raining and the sump pumps were pumping.
some pumps is probably your
Yeah.
easiest thing to start
Yeah,
enforcing.
yeah,
I know there's an issue, what do you do with the water?
right.
If you're not gonna pump it into the sewer, pump it into the road or into your yard.
Yeah.
And
The road, the
And-
road's an issue in the winter with
Yeah.
icing, your
Right.
yards, it recycles back into your house. There's
come
not,
up with a
there's not an
solution
easy
with your
solution.
engineer.
Right,
Well,
I mean, but
It
the-
comes down to money, so.
Yeah, essentially the EPA and the DEP, they want the extraneous flows out of the system.
right.
Absolutely.
It's understandable.
And to touch on your topic about the tours, we recently had tours with first responders. We held 4 tours at night to capture all 4 shifts of the police department. So yeah, we're all,
Yeah, I
Boy
know.
Scouts, Girl Scouts,
Yeah.
we did them last year. If you know anybody that's interested, if you all would like to attend, I know Susan came on a tour a couple of years ago. Whatever you guys want.
My tour was when Bob Helliger was here, so that's a long time ago. You don't know him, but.
So-
Oh, I know Bob.
Oh, you know
I
Bob?
know Bob.
Okay, yeah, so that was a long, but I think everyone should really have the opportunity to see
Right.
what goes on.
When you see the brown water going in, and then we're putting up to 500,000 gallons a day over the Pennsauken Golf Course for reuse water.
That's great.
Yeah.
And
it's a-
it
it's
just
a good
sparkles.
system.
They love the water. And they have a pond there, and you can even see the quality of water in their pond there.
That pond has taken entirely too many of my golf balls.
It's the pond's full.
Well, thank you for answering my question. And
You're
hopefully
welcome.
you'll get
Thank
some
you.
more interest in the tour.
Yeah.
Thank you for your presentation.
Word.
I know you traveled a ways, and we appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you.
You guys have a great holiday
Have a good
weekend.
one.
Too.
Yes, same to you.
Good one
Enjoy.
also. Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Switch it.
Trade.
Trade. Thanks. There we go. Yep, I'll talk to you soon.
All right, next up, ordinance, our second reading and public hearing for ordinance number 2024-10, an ordinance of the Township of Maple Shade in the County of Burlington, New Jersey, adopting a... This is an open public hearing. Is there anyone from the public that wishes to make any comments?
How many children microphone on you guys? Allow that you dropped way off.
Try that again. I'll reread it just in case. An ordinance of the Township of Maple Shade in the County of Burlington, New Jersey, adopting a tree removal and replacement program. That's ordinance 2024-10. This is an open public meeting. If anyone from the public has anything they'd like to say, please come forward now. Seeing none, can I get a motion to close?
So moved.
Oh, I'm sorry. In reference to the tree program?
The
That's
tree-
all this is the ordinance for the trees, yeah?
Public hearing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll let you know. There you go. All right, so motion to close?
So moved.
Second. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, how about a motion to adopt?
So made.
Any comments? Terry, roll call, please.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved.
Mayor Smith?
Approved. All right, this is a public portion for the consent agenda items only. No, it's not you either. You're still not up. Still not up. So, anyone from the public have any questions or anything they'd like to bring up in reference to the consent agenda? All right, seeing none, can I get a motion to close?
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, consent agenda, Resolution 2024-R-94, accept resignation and approve appointments to the Planning Board. Resolution 2024-R-95, accept resignation and approve appointment to the Zoning Board. Resolution 2024-R-96, resolution granting request for road closure for East Woodcrest Avenue Block Party. Resolution 2024-R-97, authorize the endorsement of Treatment Works Approval Permit application to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for the Barron's Urban Renewal Associates LP for the property located at 103 to 119 West Main Street. Resolution 2024-R-98, award contract to J.P. Smith Contractors, Inc. for concrete repairs to the chlorine contact tank center channel at the Park Ave wastewater treatment plant in the amount of $33,875. Resolution 2024-R-99 to reject all bids for Main Street Pump Station force main replacement and authorize a rebid. Resolution 2024-R-100, authorize utility engineering services for fiscal year 2024 New Jersey DOT Trust Fund resurfacing of North Coles Ave, Roland Ave, and drainage improvements on Buttonwood Ave in the amount not to exceed $87,900. Resolution 2024-R-101, resolution of the Township Council of the Township of Maple Shade in support of the state cannabis retail application of Friendly Greens LLC. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So made.
Second.
Any comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved?
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. Approval of the expenditure list, Susan.
Sure. Current fund bill is $230,727.51. Utility fund bill is $68,578.57. Capital fund bill list is $20,547.29. Utility capital, $134,821.93. Trust fund, $59,026.90, and the grant fund bill list is $15,292.86. I've reviewed the above bill list as submitted and recommend payment when funds are available.
Make a motion to approve?
Second?
Any comments? Roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Yes.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved?
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. Looking for approval of the April 2024 minutes.
So
Motion.
moved.
Second?
Any comments? Once again, roll call, please, Terry.
Mr. Kaufman?
Abstain.
Ms. Nunes?
Yes.
Mrs. Volpe?
Yes.
Mr. Weiss?
Approved?
Mayor Schmidt?
Approved. This is the public portion of the meeting. If anyone has anything they'd like to bring up to council, please come forward at this time. Please state your name and address again. It should be.
No.
Hold on.
Okay, Ray Frenecki from 100 Grand Ave. Congratulations on your water treatment plant. That's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
But
always work, but
yes. But I got your letter that Sue sent me. I see you were out there,
it was.
and it looked good to you.
I saw no issues at all. I mean, I understand your issue. I don't know how they could possibly change it any different than they have it running. It is very well protected. Like you had originally said, you were curious or concerned about like ricochets.
Yeah.
Not gonna happen.
Well,
I mean, they would have to intentionally shoot up like this, like
Right.
not where they're supposed to. Like,
well, with all due respect, and I hate doing this to you, but but do you have a certificate or license to inspect the gun range?
no, and technically they didn't have to let me in there. They did, so me and you could
We
have
have
a
to
reasonable
let
conversation.
some kind of inspector in there. I mean,
Well, they
every
do,
year
and
has
they
to
are
inspect
they
it.
are up to date. They have done all their inspections. They have met everything. We did all our due diligence. I don't have any further actions that we as a township can take.
Well, I mean, I could name, which I'm not right now, going to name a few things that that I know are not to code. But the other thing is, you know, I don't want to get to that just yet. I know just for, as far as the noises, you know, you say ricocheting and all that, but, you know, do you have any idea, like, do you know how long their range is, their gun range?
For the pistol range, it's 25 yards.
25 yards? How high is their dirt mound?
I didn't measure it. If I had to look at it, 35 feet.
35 feet?
It's tall, and they have huge railroad ties blocking stuff. Like it's.
Do you have like pictures of this stuff
I
that anybody
did
can
not.
see?
I did not take pictures. It was
What's
not.
that?
I did not take pictures. No.
Is there any way we can see pictures of the place?
You'd have to ask them. I can't.
Then,
I mean, I'm not.
well, you know they're going to say no, but you know,
They might not.
If they're to code, then why wouldn't they show anything?
Well, that's unfortunately a conversation I can't have. You'd have to ask them. I mean, that's like me asking to come into your house and take a picture. That's basically what we're doing.
There is a statewide sound ordinance, which is statewide. I don't know if you know what the decibel levels are, but it's during the daytime it's 65 and at nighttime it's 50. But like a 12 gauge shotgun, that's 161 decibels, which they shoot their clay targets with. 7mm rifle, that's 166 decibels. These are all like.
I'm very
high
familiar with
decibels.
weapons. I understand guns.
Oh, you are familiar? with
I like guns.
You a shooter?
I like guns.
Okay. That's more than 3 times the allowed thing. And I made it clear to Susan, like, from the very beginning, I wasn't trying to get the place shut down.
Yeah, but you're.
I was, you know, your guns are pointing straight at my house and all my neighbors' house, which I got a lot of my neighbors here tonight. And it's loud. If you know guns, you know if I point a gun this way, it's a lot louder than if I point it that way. And to the point to where I can feel the percussion.
I mean, I personally would argue that point with you.
You're
There's
more
no
than
way
welcome
you're
to
feeling
come over.
percussion from a
You're
half a
more than
mile
welcome
away.
to come to my house. I guarantee. I can give you my phone and play, and my phone.
I did all my due diligence for you.
That's
sir.
the truth.
We tried to do everything we could to make
But
sure
don't
that
say,
we weren't.
yeah, but don't say, I can't feel it unless you come over and feel it, you know, because it is happening. I'm not making it up.
That's something I may entertain also.
I mean, the gun's pointing straight at me, but, I really feel like, you know, with those ordinance levels, statewide ordinance levels, that you guys, or the gun range is required to.
I don't believe, are they, they're not involved in that.
Mr. Fernicki, you've referenced a state ordinance.
Yes.
What's the enforcement mechanism? Doesn't call for local enforcement. Are you talking about the state noise control ordinance?
Yeah, I
Because
guess.
there is in there an exemption for gun ranges.
There is?
Yes, there is, sir.
I have to find that, but I don't know why.
I think the township has done what it can within its realm of authority. If you have questions about what the state requires for a gun range, what the state requires for the ordinance, or that the noise control mechanisms are insufficient, I think it's a matter of speaking with the state.
So you're telling me I should get the state involved?
I'm telling you that the answer isn't here.
Okay.
There's an appreciation of your issue, but the answer isn't here.
And that's why we did our due diligence, because you came with a complaint.
But if you have inspectors that are inspecting this, do you have like, you can't get,
Isn't that a
you
state?
can't get a permit, they're supposed to get permits, you can't get a permit without approval for inspection. Do you guys have,
The only permits they have from us
receipts
are,
or anything?
do we have
When
any
did
permits from them?
the permit requirement come into play? Is it
Yearly.
after, I'm
Yearly.
sorry, when?
Like yearly?
Okay, but this facility was built in 1942.
Like 50
Yeah.
is the gun ranges.
To me, I think
Again, that
everybody-
would be something the state would have to answer for you.
Right.
It's not a local inspection.
All we inspect that building for, I
But it's
believe,
in
is the
your
fire
town,
marshal,
I
correct?
Which
No,
I've
I
asked,
understand,
but
but it's just
I'm
like
sorry?
folks
I
don't
have a
realize
question
in some
when the
towns,
inspections
they
were.
complain
I
about
haven't heard.
hotels, but a lot of the hotels are inspected at the state level. The enforcement mechanism isn't here.
Do you, like, can you explain to me, like, it seems to me like you guys are really trying to go out of your way to protect this range, and I think it has
I
been
don't think so.
protected.
I think
Not at all.
we're abiding by the scope of authority for the township.
Well, how about if you wanted to go that, like how, like, what is your answer for a place like that, a big building, 10+ acres of land, that no tax has been paid on, and you know this, and if you didn't know it a couple weeks ago when I came in here, like, first of all, I wouldn't
They
believe it.
have an exemption for a fraternal organization. It's a recognized exemption, and they do pay taxes for the billboard that is there because it's not within the scope of the
What
exemption.
billboard?
There's a billboard on the property.
On 73.
What's it say?
It's a rented billboard. It changes whenever. It's one of the billboards that happens to be on their property. They make income from it, so they have to pay taxes.
So you're telling me that the, yeah, it has nothing to do with the gun range, but, I mean.
Exactly, and
here's-
that's
here's-
why it's not tax exempt, sir. I think you're going from a noise concern to now challenging the whole entity there.
Yeah, of course. There's more than just one thing that I'm worried about. There's a whole thing. That's why for me, it's like a no-brainer. This is a gun club that is in a tiny little area surrounded by highways, businesses, houses, people walking by, riding their bikes, walking their dogs. People got pets, little kids, and yeah, apartment complex. And it's just, you know, it's. I don't understand where the problem is. Whatever they were grandfathered in 1942, like. It's not a tree, it's not a building, it's not a house, it's not a park. This is a gun club, a shooting range that is very dangerous in a community. And you guys seem to like not worry about it. I just
I don't think it's a matter of not concern. It's a matter of it has complied with what was necessary at the local level. We haven't had anything from the state coming down saying that there's non-compliance. And there's something in land use law called coming to the nuisance. So I'll give you a great example. There used to be pig farms down in Marlton, and there was one existing about 10 years ago. And a developer built a multifamily development next to it, and all of those residents complained about the pig farm. The pig farm was there first. It was approved first.
well,
When the
I
folks
don't know
bought,
nothing about this pig farm. This pig
I'm
farm.
just giving you an example.
Well, the example, with all due respect, this pig farm could have been built out in the country where there's only like little highways, little roads, dirt
Back
roads.
then, it
going
was
out.
country.
Huh?
It was country when it was built.
Yeah, well, did
And
Route
that's the
73
situation
exist?
here.
Did Route 73 come by there when
So
they
it's a
built it?
two-lane
I don't know.
highway.
It was
probably.
yeah, it was-
We've kind of gone past the scope of
Yeah.
a public comment into, you know,
So the entire town of Morristown is supposed to build around this gun club?
no, sir, no one said that.
Well, you know, and what are you saying? Like you're saying because they were there first, that, if anybody builds anything in there, like first of all, I never even knew the gun club was there until I moved in. There's no billboard that says there's a gun club there. I would have never bought a gun club that touched my property in my backyard if I would have known there was a gun club there.
Understood.
To me, I got a real estate problem. If I want to resell, people around, if they know it's there. Who knows?
You lived on Cedar for how many years and you didn't hear the gun club? It's probably
Never
as
heard-
close.
3 years. 3 years, never heard a gun shot. They don't shoot in that direction.
I
You
get it.
got the ground that goes up there. If you were there, then you know you go down a hill, and that's just a giant natural berm that just protects it. And like I just told you a couple minutes ago, if you shoot in that direction or if you shoot in that direction, it's two totally different sounds.
Without a doubt.
So
I don't argue
that's
with
why I never heard it. Plus that noise trying to get past Route 73 and all that, like, yeah. And so that's why. I'm not here to lie.
No, but I mean, the only thing, like the attorney stated, is we have done what we can legally do. They're not doing anything wrong.
Well, their noise out.
Again, they have their state statute that exempts them as a gun club. So
And
they're
they
not
don't
doing
pay
anything
taxes
wrong.
either because of why?
They're a fraternal organization.
They're a what?
fraternal organization. May I please ask what it
Well,
is?
you need to come to the mic.
You'd have to come up to the mic, and I don't know that I have that information. I don't know.
I don't have all of it. It is a fraternal organization. They have a conservation point to it, and it's also the recreation portion of the guns.
Oh, I don't understand that photo. Are you telling me that if I called the Delran Junior Marksman Club, that they probably wouldn't be paying taxes or any other shooting?
I don't know, sir.
Exactly. It's
I don't know.
Delran.
So if well, let's just say I do call every range that I can think of around here.
You
Not
mean
all-
a commercial range?
Not all are 501c3s.
Right, they're not
This is an exempt organization by the in the state and the federal government. So Delran Marksman's Club is not a 501c3.
How does it get to be exempt?
It's however they set up, it's how they buy, it's
Is it
their
because
bylaws.
like a senator or somebody shoots there,
No.
or some kind of
No,
council
no,
shoots there?
no.
Or
There's
mayor
just,
might shoot there?
there's
No,
different
I
levels,
don't
there's
shoot there. I've
different
never been
things.
there.
There's-
Except for one visit.
Organizations can be exempt. They have to follow a set of rules, they have to have a certain level of bylaws. The Sportsman Club meets all of those.
Well, I will just say, even if everything you guys say is 100% accurate, this thing is in your town, and you guys don't feel like you owe it to anybody, or, you know, like, I don't know what you would have to do, but you don't find it that you know, because like I said in the beginning when I first started talking, I was looking for something that was fair for them and something that was fair for us. And I talked about possibly restriction the size of the calibers, possibly getting on a schedule, having some days off, like certainly not holidays, and Thanksgiving morning, Christmas Eve, New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, like, you know, and then, you know, during the week, like I said, I live right back there, never knew the gun range was there. If I want to go out on my back deck and have a dinner and, you know, they start shooting, it's unbearable. I can't sit out there. And if I want to open a window because it's a nice day out, I can't do that if they start shooting. I feel like I'm trapped in my own house. I mean, I would
And it's
think-
unpredictable when they do the shooting.
Sure, they're from
Yeah.
10 a.m. to dusk.
Yes.
That's all day.
I
I
don't
get
think
it.
that's right.
Huh?
And you know what?
Yeah, you can't,
They have to come up to the mic so that we at least can put them on the record, so if they want to.
It doesn't even give us a chance to enjoy. I work hard. I'm in construction.
You have to go to this, at that point, I would suggest you go to the state, call your congressman, call your senator, and start with them. We can't just make up our scope of what we can touch because we want to. We have to abide by the law.
Well, I understand that, but I mean, like.
But that's what you're asking me to do.
Have you-
You're asking me to do that. I can't.
Trying to help, like, you
I
know,
can't.
Like, give me contacts or something to, who I can talk to. because,
Excuse me, sir? Have you actually tried to talk to them one-on-one? Bring your neighbors and
To talk to somebody from the gun thing?
from the gun club, because it's out, you know, we can't really do anything.
They are, it's private property, and they hide, they don't say who they are online, you can't find out who these people
They
are.
don't advertise.
Do you know who the president is?
It's a secret.
It's a secret thing.
You can't even find them on the
Secret
internet,
society.
basically. And I know why they don't want the internet, because it is a little bit of a private club, and I've read things on there where guys heard about a gun range on Route 73, and, you know, but I know it's a small range, and they don't want a lot of people there because,
Well, you probably have to ask the state, get the state involved if you're looking at it in that way. I mean, they would have to be able to at least give you some information, I'm guessing.
You said you didn't hear noise for a number of years. It's only recent. Would you say it was around the time when they were doing the work on 73? Because DOT did some clearing in
When they
They did
rebuilt the
tree
bridge,
clearing.
the little bridge.
you mean like since they cleared out trees and stuff like that, now I'm hearing it? Is that what-
I'm just asking, because you said you didn't hear it before.
Well, when I lived on Cedar, no, I didn't hear any gunshot sounds. But if they did cut down trees,
Which they did.
so what do you do now?
You have to get trees back up there.
Or a wall?
Talk to DOT to see, you know, what transpired there. So, I mean,
Well, I
it's,
don't live in Maple Shade anymore, you know what I mean? So, I live right across the creek, right on the creek. So anything on that side.
well, you were on Cedar, so you didn't hear anything because they weren't facing your directions when
Right.
they're shooting, you're saying.
Correct. That's a big difference, probably cuts the noise.
Well,
down.
I'm sure.
Which was one of my suggestions a while ago, like, why can't they just simply turn everything around instead of putting their backs to Route 73 and shooting lead into the creek, which ironically, these guys are here about the water thing, but, you know, obviously after it gets treated, it's good, but I don't think the animals are drinking bottled water or anything out of the faucet, but I'm sure that's getting into that creek somehow or another, especially when leaves fall in the fall, that's pretty much when they do water trap shooting. But,
Probably, state noise control, I would start probably there if that was your first issue. You know, because the state would be able to tell you in which direction to go. Because we cannot tell them as a 501c3 that what they can do and can't do because they're covered under these exemptions. So our hands are tied with that. You know, we feel for you, and we understand there's a problem there, and of course, the trees have come down, so you have a few different areas you can go. You know, DOT has taken down trees, correct?
It was whoever did the work to the
Whoever did the
brickwork,
work?
yes.
So at least you have a reference there of why all of a sudden you're hearing things, neighbors that have been there longer than he has. Is that correct? You always heard it?
I've lived there for. Can we have folks come to the
Okay.
microphone? Just yelling.
Yeah. All right, whoever wants to come up.
Did you say 501c3?
It's a charitable.
It's a-
Charitable organization.
501c3?
Yes, nonprofit.
It's a club thing. If you have a club, you can do that.
Just state your name and address.
My name's Valerie Holmes. I live at 217 Whittier Avenue in Morristown.
Thank you.
So the issue with the noise is there has always been obnoxious noise. I mean, we don't open up our upstairs windows because my husband, you can't sleep. You know, you need to sleep in the day, and even then, it goes through. My other issue is that the proximity to, I mean, you got Fox Meadows right next door. I mean, how did that even get built so close to the gun range?
Way before my time.
Because I do know it's been there forever, a thing. I lived here in Maple Shade till I was 2, and then moved to Morristown. So I'm very local. And then my husband and I bought the house. It's pretty close. It's on the creek. So he's like across the street from us. So they're shooting right at us. I did see one time where there were guys over there looking for shells. That was many years ago, but yes.
What's your
that
address?
has occurred.
What is your address?
217 Whittier Avenue. You know, and my big concern is, you know, the noise is a problem, and as you stated, you have to go to the state level for that. As, you know, even for, if you want inspections and stuff, but the noise is horrendous. And it can start at 10 o'clock in the morning and go till dark.
30
We're not
minutes
talking
before
dusk.
dark.
It
Well,
goes
30 minutes
on-
before dark, they're
It
supposed to
goes
be.
on a long time, and you're not hearing the noise, but they are facing us, and it is very obnoxious, very loud. I have had dogs that I've had to bring in the house. You know, it's like I'm not thrilled about the legalization of fireworks in the state of New Jersey either.
And like I said, I understand your concern, and that's why I spent the time and went to the club, and we had our meetings, and
But as I said,
we double checked that we.
my other issue
could or
is,
could not
we all
go.
know how far bullets can fly. I don't care, you said, well, how do you know Howdy Doody doesn't decide they're gonna shoot in the air?
Wow.
You know, I mean.
That's why it's a sportsman's club. It's not open to the public. It's very,
It's-
they have very strict rules.
I do
so.
think there's a safety issue, and
And
I
that's,
will say the
it's
noise.
been there, it's been there for 75 years without an issue,
I
so
know.
I don't have a leg to stand on to say to them,
I-
hey, you're gonna
I
have an
hear-
issue.
I hear
We
what you
can't.
say.
So, like I said, I did
You
as
know?
much due diligence as I could. I
County supersedes township, county, the.
State supersedes county.
the county, so
Yep.
that would be the next avenue.
That-
I
that would be
actually was
correct.
under the impression, when we were told, and they did the Lanola Drainage Project and work over there, and they made that longer exit onto 73, that, then they got rid of that lovely little dive that was there.
God bless
That
them.
the Gunmen's Club was supposed, they were taking that land too, but I guess that never happened.
That was the state again. They took
That's
the
the
land
state.
on us.
They did, the state did purchase a portion of that property, just not the entire property.
For the,
But as I
Excel,
said, we
Excel.
were all under the impression
The
that
third
that
lane.
that was going to go. It was like, yes, thank you. But
So, I appreciate your input, and I do apologize. That's the best I can do for you.
Hello, Tracy Frenecki, 100 Grand Avenue. I'm requesting from Sue, the township manager, that she provides me within 7 to 10 days the OPA reports of the gun range, and the rules and regulations and bylaws of the gun range.
So
Well,
those
we're-
aren't things that,
Yeah, we don't have that.
Yeah, those would not be with the township.
So that I have to go to the gun range and ask them for them?
Yes, it's a private organization.
Okay, do you have the OPA reports of the gun range?
What do you mean by OPA reports, ma'am? And with an OPA request, you have to specifically identify the documents you're looking for. So you can't just say gun range. I want anything on the gun range.
A history of any other complaints, because like the mayor just said.
A history of
There's never been-
complaints?
Yeah, I keep hearing, like,
Okay.
the mayor just said there's never been any incidents or reports or anything like that. You know, people talking about the range, and I've talked to a lot of people, and they all said they made complaints.
An Oprah request has to be sent to the township clerk. Her email's online, and just identify what you're looking for and the range of dates and this, the topic.
Okay. And 7 to 10 days, you normally get something like that?
So unless it's something that requires additional review, then we would ask for an extension.
Okay, I will do that.
It's a start.
And Chuck?
Chuck Kinnicky, 41 North Clinton Ave. So just some quick research on how far it's supposed to be away from gun ranges, no more than 550 feet from an occupied dwelling. That's right on New Jersey state law. And they have, I've been back there, they have all their berms and everything. Those pylons go far in, when they put them back in, they literally push them horizontally into that dirt pile.
Correct, I saw that.
I'm pretty sure they follow all their rules, but I just wanted to touch base on the how far away
550
from,
feet, right, okay. perfect.
which all them properties are definitely more than 550 feet.
Correct. Chuck, thank you.
Hi.
Hello.
My name is April Imorio. I
What is
live
it?
in Morristown on 120 Winthrop Avenue. I know we're not Maple Shade residents. We're border residents. The creek borders Maple Shade and Morristown. We're right on the border.
I understand.
We're neighbors. I've lived in my home for over 20 years. I don't know how I'm hearing that people have not complained. I've been complaining for years.
To whom?
The police department. I've been complaining to. Nobody ever directed me to complain to someone else. We've complained when the firearms get very, very loud. And I just want to say, first of all, this is not a gun issue for me. This is not about whether I like guns or I don't like guns. This is about a quality of life issue for me and a safety issue for me. We purchased our home because it backed up to woods, and we enjoy the beauty of nature, and we enjoy quiet. I work from home. I can't tell you how many times when it's a beautiful spring day, it's a beautiful fall day, you just want the luxury of having your windows open. And they start firing, and they start with smaller guns. I don't know a lot. I know nothing about guns. They start with smaller noise. It gets louder. It gets louder. It sounds like Yosemite Sam after a half hour. I feel like I live in the middle of a Civil War reenactment. This isn't about trying to take away somebody's freedom to shoot guns. This isn't about that. This is about why is this in the middle of the neighborhood? Our home was built in the 1920s. Our complex of bungalows was built before this gun range. I wasn't around then, I wasn't alive then to know what happened or why it's there. I don't know why whatever formal complaint was supposed to go channeled through a certain place for everyone in Maple Shade administration to know about it. But the people who are firing there, when you are receiving that kind of noise and you're suffering with that kind of noise, and it's impacting your quality of life, and it's impacting your emotional state and your ability to concentrate, to try to work that makes you make your living, you start wondering, how do these people not care about the suffering that they're causing to other people? We don't know who they are. We don't know what fraternity that they are, that they have this luxury of not having to adhere to the noise ordinance, that we all have to adhere to the noise ordinance, but they don't. We don't go to where they live and pull up a car and blast a 500-watt car stereo system from when the times are allowed to a half hour before sundown and impact their quality of life. They come, they blow up all this noise as long as they want. I understand, I saw a picture that there's a bar in this place, and then they go home. And we're the ones who have to live with this. I don't know who we have to talk to. I understand this might not be within your jurisdiction, but this is not okay. And it's been a while for us to all talk to each other as neighbors, and how many of us have been suffering with this. And this is not, like I said, a township line issue. They're shooting in our direction. They're shooting from Maple Shade right into where our yards are. So the people, like Ray was saying, when he lived on that other street, he wasn't receiving the shoots coming that way, but we all are. And we have a right as taxpayers. These people don't pay taxes. We're paying taxes to be in our homes. And we can enjoy our homes. We don't even have a certain amount of time, which just has to be after sundown on any day that, oh, maybe I can open my window now. Am I supposed to do my work now? It's after dinner time. They've stopped shooting. Am I supposed to stop working all day because I can't concentrate because of all the shooting? This is the reality of what we're living with. I just want people to understand what this is about.
I have a quick question.
Yes,
Did you call, I'm guessing you called the Morristown Police Department to complain?
I've called both.
You've called both?
Yeah, and they always say, okay, I'll go up there. That's all I ever hear. I'll go up there. And then nothing changes. They don't even like stop for a half hour. And I'm not trying to personally attack them, but I just don't understand that's so unneighborly to come and do that to a neighborhood and then go home. It's like a free-for-all, and we have no rights. They have rights and we have none.
It's probably the same difference as they're doing exactly what they can do because of all the guidelines that have been put in place that we have no control over. So again, I think it's the point that you have to go to the state. And again, the noise control, that really started in the 80s. So
What does
there,
that mean?
the noise control, state noise control,
Yeah.
that, you know, there's an isn't it organization commission for that?
I'm sorry?
He's asking.
Yeah, isn't that state noise control, is it a commission or is it?
It's under the DEP.
It's under the DEP, so.
That's like 1971.
71, okay. So at least they started in 71 and this gun range was way before then. And of course your neighborhood was in place
In the 20s.
in the 20s.
Yeah.
So the fact is, I don't think anyone is talking to one another. So if you people let them know how you feel and how it's affecting your life, that's why the noise control was put into place to help people who are having decimal problems with the type of noise that you're hearing. So that's why I'm saying that, to me, that really sticks out, that somebody will be able to help you.
I hope so.
Sue was supposed to set up a meeting. She was supposed to have the president come here or whatever, and that hasn't happened.
Well,
And as far as guidelines,
Well, I'm talking about the state. I'm talking about working with the state, because we really, no, the state. Yeah, I'm talking about the state, not us, you know.
And Mr. Fernicki, as I had said to you, I couldn't force them to come here. I've had those conversations with them. Again, then when you came, you know, we reached out again. It just so happened that the first time that you were here, the members of some of the Sportsman's Club were watching YouTube that evening. And they contacted me then that Friday morning, the next day. And that's how we were then able to basically facilitate this.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you were here the first time, they had watched on YouTube. So,
Oh, that's lovely.
so
That's great.
again, but all through this process, I have told you as well, reach out to the state, reach out to the State Noise Commission. These are things that, yes, because we don't have control over those things.
never told me that, number one.
And we don't know who they are, and they can watch
So,
us stand up here.
I would be more than, I would,
We don't even know who they are. We
but
don't
they
know.
are
It's
a
a public
private, they're
meeting,
a
man.
private,
That's a
yeah,
moot
and they're a
point. It's a
private
public meeting.
organization. So what I will do tomorrow morning is I will Google the State Commission noise control for you, and I'll reach out to you, and I'll send it to you so that you have the number so that you can reach out to them.
But I told you I'd go there, you know, I would go there. They don't have to come here, waste time, they don't have to come.
But I can't force them to
Can't,
have that
exactly, we
meeting.
can't force them to have
So
it.
that's why we then, when you came up, and then they had, on that Friday morning, we had already planned that we were going to reach out and say, please come and talk to us so we can do this.
The 1 week you said they wanted to be good neighbors, and the next week you said they were annoyed that we asked them to do anything.
Well, yes, and that was part of our conversation because they did feel like they were worried that we were picking on them, that they were trying to get closed down. Again,
I want to know if they're, I can't imagine.
yeah,
All right,
we're
we're-
having two conversations.
we're-
Yeah.
This, we got to change. This is strictly about your question on noise ordinance. We have reached our bounds. The township cannot do any more for you.
But the township has a noise ordinance, right?
Correct.
So
But
it doesn't apply to
gun
them
law,
because
no,
that's-
gun ranges are exempt from it. Gun ranges are exempt.
That's so crazy. 'cause
I
they make so much
I can't have
noise.
that conversation. I didn't write the law. I'm just telling you what we're reading. They're
What
exempt.
about, doesn't Maple Shade have in their post something about you're not allowed to discharge a firearm? Isn't that also?
Again, they would, it's a gun range. They would absolutely
That's the
be.
issue, it's a gun
It's a
range.
public place, yeah.
It's like we have these ordinances to protect people's rights, but they don't.
And the ordinances are not as old as the gun club. So they got grandfathered into a lot of stuff. your conversation unfortunately has to happen with the state or the county, whichever you feel more.
I'd like to make a suggestion.
Yeah,
There's enough of you folks now
Yeah.
that are being bothered with this.
there's
Why
gonna
don't-
be more, I'm telling you, because we're all starting to talk to each other now.
Well, why don't you get together, get a group of yourselves together, and reach out to somebody who can do something, like the state. We can't. Our hands are tied. We have gone as far as we can.
What department at the state, like?
State.
who- the
NJDEP.
And Department of Environmental Protection?
So it's NJDEP, yep, who will oversee your noise commission,
Of course, or your legislator.
or your legislator.
Right, reach out to your senator, your congressman.
And, you know, you have a group now, you know, make that clear to them how you feel and how it's changed. So there's many things that have transpired in this amount of years that you've all lived there.
I also think there's a safety concern too, because like I said, my house backs up to the woods, especially during the pandemic, we were in the woods a lot. And then they're shooting right towards my yard. I mean, how would you feel? It's your yard, it's like you can't even enjoy your own yard or your own property. You can't open your own windows. It feels kind of like you're being bullied or victimized. It's awful.
I think that's why it's important for you to get a group together and work on it, because you're coming here and you're being frustrated because we can't do anything.
Yeah.
So you need to go to somebody who can do something. We'll look into it anyway.
Okay, well, thank you.
And go to your Moorestown legislators.
Right.
They're gonna say, well, it's not in our town. Because it's not, it's on the Maple Shade side. But, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Hi, my name's Dave Becca, and I'm from 120 Winthrop Avenue. Well, thank you for the information.
I think I might be off again.
Is it off?
Hold on one second, I think.
Check, no?
Yeah.
Check. Oh,
There you go.
okay. Hi, my name's Dave Fecka, and I'm from 120 Winthrop Avenue as well. And well, we're all here because we're all learning. Okay, so this is not personal, attack, but the attack is on us. That's what we, the people, are saying here. And that's why we're saying this. That's why we're speaking to you, because it's a meeting thing. Now, I know you're saying that we have to go to the state, and that we will do. And the thing is, though, is that I know, just wrapping up from what I've heard, I understand that you've done all that you can do. But there's such a thing as a word called morality, all right? Common morality and common sense, and also kindness. And also, there's a word that is, check. Well, anyway, there is a word that, what I was trying to say is you have to understand that, if there is, on the other side of the fence, there's one thing. It just seems like the other word is, to me, no offense to this, but this is really a selfish way to be treated in the community at the edge of Morristown. As far as neighbors, we're supposed to be community, whether we're Maple Shade or whether we're Morristown. Now, this is no attack.
Well, that's how I'm going to start taking it, because it seems like you're coming after me.
Well, the thing is
I did everything that I
well, the
told you
thing
I was
is,
gonna do.
what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is that I understand where you're coming from, but the thing is, as far as morality, as far as common sense, when you have
Unfortunately,
somebody,
there's not a lot of that in the law. You got to remember.
there's not a lot. Well, that is a shame.
that's-
You know what? That is a shame, because we
Correct,
pay,
but we're not here to
we
discuss
pay the
that, sir.
taxes.
That's
we
correct.
pay taxes.
But you don't pay
and the
taxes.
people that are affecting us.
Sir, I'm going to need you to lower your voice and relax.
All right.
I've told you everything that we can do for
I
you.
know that.
But you're up here beating on me like I did something
no, I
wrong.
didn't say you. I said don't
You're
take
looking
it
right
personally.
at me saying that it's
I'm looking
selfish.
at all of you. You're right in front of me.
All right, well, you need to stop.
He's saying the gun range is selfish, not you, not
All right.
not
Well, that's-
the council.
But that's the way he's coming at, that I didn't do anything for him. I'm not being a good
understand.
neighbor. I'm
No,
trying
no,
to do
no.
everything we can
But
for
you
you.
understand.
I feel your frustrations. That's when he first came up, we got involved. Within 4 days, we had a meeting with them. I think we understand your issue.
Somebody should be here that represent them.
They don't have to be. I can't make them come. If you're having an issue with your neighbor with a fence, I
The
can't
state,
make them
you're
come to a
saying the
public
state.
meeting. You need to talk to the state. We've done everything that we can do for you, sir.
I have
And we're
one-
not saying that to
I do have the
dismiss you.
number. I have the number to DEP.
We're not saying that to dismiss you. We're saying that because that is as far as our hands are tied. That's all we can do for you. And we want you to understand that. We're trying to be the right neighbor and to handle it. There's only so much we can do.
That's all I was saying about with how I see it. I mean, like I said, people like you looking into it there, okay? My apologies.
And I appreciate that, and I apologize. I just,
All right.
I think
But
we've
that's
stood up
how
and did everything that we
frustrated
can do.
we are.
And I hear you.
That's
I absolutely hear you.
And we
I
will
mean, I've been
take
on
this to
council
the
4
state.
years. This is the first time I'm hearing any complaints about this gun range.
That is
So,
amazing. That is amazing. This is the first time I've heard that
Would you like me to give
place
the number?
does not pay taxes
I do have the number to the DEP
since
that I can share with them. And then-
1942.
Well, we have a start, so
right.
let's move forward and
Okay.
get that you can get that information.
Yep, I can.
Maybe we could set up a meeting with the.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'm sorry, what was your question?
Is there any way we could set up a meeting with them, with the president?
We could ask. They don't have to. We could ask. They can say no. I mean, it's their right.
I just don't understand why they have all the rights.
So, again, I didn't make the rules. I'm just here to,
You can drive up there when they're open and see if you can talk to somebody.
Am I gonna get arrested?
No.
There's trespassing to access where they are. You have to take a.
I think at this point, I will ask again on behalf of the residents. I can give you the number to the DEP. If you have a pen, I have it right now for you. It's 609-777-3373.
And Mayor, in response to that guy behind me that went up, he must be a member, he said something about the burn, the impact burn.
he's not a member, but that's okay.
Oh, he's not?
No.
Oh. Well, I was just wondering how he would know anything then. if he's not a member.
All he was
Mayor.
stating that he was there.
Mayor,
So,
we just,
right,
yeah,
yeah.
public comment.
We got this conversation, we
I will call the gun range again. I will call the Sportsman's Club again tomorrow and ask to set up a meeting, and then I'll be in touch with you.
And do you have any inspectors' names that ever inspected that? That have their names
It would
on
be the state inspectors.
do this.
The state goes in and inspects them.
all we look at is for the fire marshal.
The state
Yes.
to satisfy these noise ordinances?
Yes.
Correct.
Somebody from the state shoot there or something like that? 'Cause
So again,
Again,
I will call
you're asking
tomorrow.
questions
I will
on
call the,
How that
so,
government has
yes,
this-
we're
that
done.
number rates
That's,
that
we
are
can't do
on.
anymore.
All right, we're going to get you what information we can. I got to stop it here.
My house and you'll see what.
And we understand it, but we're going to stop it and we'll move forward here. Thank you.
Oh, and one last
No,
question.
No.
we can,
No.
Come on, yeah.
There's no double
I
booking.
thought we,
That
There's
this is on YouTube, is it, this meeting tonight
Yes.
is on YouTube? So
It's on the
that they
township's
they-
website.
So are they chronicled, like when we go back and access it, or is it live and then it goes away?
No, you can.
They're on our
you can
webpage.
access it.
So
on
they
our website.
stay, they're
They stay.
archived? Okay, that's what I wanted to know, thank you.
Yep. Anyone else from the public have anything else they'd like to mention? Seeing none, on my place here, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
So made.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, staff and professional comments. Councilwoman Nunes?
You always do me
I know,
first.
that's just,
Thanks for nothing.
I get in that habit. I like to keep Nelson for last.
Oh, okay, because he has it all.
I should let him go first, you know what, you're right. You're right.
This weekend coming up, of course, is Memorial Day, and I hope that all of us will make sure that we are thankful to all of our veterans, especially those who we have lost, and their families. Reach out and just make sure you be appreciative of them. I'm sure every single town, since Morristown is here, is having some type of ceremony, and it would mean so much to the veterans if you do come and support them, and to just bow your head and pray for them and their families throughout the years. And that's all I have to say, because that is the biggest thing on my mind for this weekend, because that's what Memorial Day really means. Thank you.
Thank you.
Me?
Councilwoman?
Okay. to pick up from Sandy, the memorial will be up at the monument at 11 o'clock. So if you can make it, appreciate that. And they do allow for the placing of wreaths if you have someone. And if you have someone in your family that was a veteran that passed, you let the commander know and he will announce his name. And speaking of that, I'd like to send condolences to the Tallarico family for the passing of Frank Reds Tallarico. He's a longtime resident in Maple Shade. He worked for a long time in the school district. And he would have been 101 years old on Tuesday, but he passed away a few days earlier. So
God bless.
So just send the condolences out to them. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Kaufman?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to reiterate what everybody said about Memorial Day. Memorial Day is not about, that was made that, about picnics and barbecues and to the beach and stuff like that. It is about those individuals that lost their lives in protecting the freedoms that we all enjoy. And by the very nature of these freedoms being protected is the fact that we were able to be here today and express concerns that everyone's had. That's been protected by those individuals who have died and fought. And so, again, like we reiterated, Maple Shade will have its Memorial Day ceremonies on Monday at 11 o'clock at the memorial. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Mayor? I see you got a couple things to say.
I do. Start out by saying thank you to the MSBA and Fox Meadow for partnering with the first Mother's Day bouquet and brunch on May 11th. The event was well attended and enjoyed by many residents and guests. The May 14th concert in the park was well attended. It was nice to see so many people come out. The next concert is June 18th, and I think so many people came out because the weather was great until they threatened for rain, which held off until after the concert was over and they were packed up. I encourage everyone to check out the monthly newsletter for all the event information. You can sign up at mapleshade.com and that will be emailed to you directly. I had the pleasure to attend the VFW's 60th annual convention on Saturday, May 18th. Congratulations to several people who were honored that evening. Outstanding Law Officer, Corporal Justin Worstall, Maple Shade Police Department. Voice of Democracy, first place winner, Emily Francis Stratton, Maple Shade High School. And Outstanding Elementary Teacher, Catherine Inglis, Steinhauer School. This week is EMS week. Thank you to all of our EMS staff. We all appreciate your service to the community. Last night was Downtown Dog Parade. Thank you to Jennifer Nixon of the BEDC. She won't even look at me. For bringing that fun event to the community for the 4th year. Mark your calendars for Community Shredding Day on January 1.
June.
It says June here,
1st.
so-
He's trying to rush us through summer. I don't like
Yeah, we went through the holidays and everything. On June 1st, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here at the Township Building. All residents can bring their confidential documents for shredding. Memorial Day, we have beat up pretty good. Tuesday, June 4th is primary election day. Remember, it's not only our right to vote, but it's our duty to vote. So I encourage everyone to get out and vote. Sustainable Maple Shades Green Fair was last Saturday. I was not able to attend, but we certainly thank you for all you do for the community. And finally, I wish everyone a happy and safe Memorial Day holiday weekend. And that's all I have.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Short today?
Sorry.
Well, it's always good following the Deputy Mayor because he does such a nice job. I don't have to add too much. I would like to thank our EMS during EMS week. And again, don't forget about Memorial Day at 11 o'clock on Monday. Thank you. Anyone else have anything they need to add? Susan, Terry? Dennis, I know you got a lot you want to say. Right? All right, we're going to move into old business operations.
Thank you. Just a few things to go over. Residents may have noticed along Main Street, there's been a lot of activity over at the Barron's building site. This week, or actually the week of May 14th, we met with developers team and with Lisco Environmental over there. They've dug a 100-deep monitoring well that was being installed off-site at a service station off of North Lippincott. There's been a large drilling rig that was parked on one site. They're going to be capping and sealing most of that prior to test borings. Township engineer reviewed the various markout locations for soil injection, site and planned soil excavations. Over the next several weeks, these injections are going to continue, and they believe that the contaminated soil will be removed by the month of July, and then they're going to be able to demobilize all of that equipment in August. So that project is underway and going full steam ahead. On May 15th, myself, along with county representatives, as well as Chief Kerr, Chief Tobin, Lieutenant Davis, and members of the MSFD, were invited to Sterling Manor to observe in their annual disaster drill. The drill is part of our required emergency management preparedness cooperation that we need to do, and it gives us an opportunity to provide input to them, see the facility, speak with staff. So we did have that drill. Also, over the last couple weeks, our team met with 2 potential cannabis businesses. As a result, as you all know, this evening we authorized our first resolution of support, and I believe they're here. Our one is here in the audience. Rusty's here. So the resolution gives the business the ability now to apply with the state and officially start the process of opening up in Maple Shade. So also on that day, our team met with Remington and Vernick for a project status update of all projects and what their current status is. So we have North Coles and Roland. We have a proposal that was approved this evening. Woodlawn Lane concept to address, we have some road washout over there. Aces Park, we have drainage, fencing, and security lighting, which is all part of the recreation grant that we received, along with, we're going to do some maintenance and improvements to the play area. We have 3 roadways for our 2025 NJDOT road program, Rose, North Terrace, and North Holly. And we had an extensive conversation about MS4 requirements, which is our stormwater requirements. We spent a good, probably about 40 minutes speaking with Remington and Vernick's stormwater representative. Tomorrow we're going to be meeting with the EPA. So we have an EPA meeting regarding 29 sanitary sewer overflows that occurred between October 12th of 2016 and April 14th of 2021, and then along with another 16 that were between 2023 and present. As we had mentioned a few weeks ago, and I know it was mentioned a little bit this evening, we know that some of those overflows are caused by illegal sump pumps connections. So we're going to have. I'm looking forward to the meeting tomorrow. Hopefully, we can come up with some sort of plan. They definitely want to know what the township's remedy is going to be. But I think the fact that they reached out to us to have these conversations, they understand, and I'm hopeful that they'll work with us. So. What else are we on? While on the topic of enforcement issues, code enforcement officer has been inundated with resident complaints of high grass. That's what he has spent the last 2 weeks doing. Residents are reminded that our township code identifies high grass as 6 inches or more. Typically, a notice of violation is what we send out to the homeowner just as a reminder to say, hey, this is what our code states. And often these notices are abated within the permitted 7 days time frame. We did put out in our newsletter, and it is on our webpage. You can find it on our DPW site on our webpage. Just some important reminders about grass clippings. You can place grass clippings in a heavy-duty lawn bags. We ask that you only fill the bags halfway to alleviate them from being too heavy for the trash hauler. Remember, our trash hauler is a curbside collection, so it's actual manual collection. We don't have the arm for that. So we do ask that residents, make sure that take a little easier on those guys. They have to lug those bags around. We ask that you do not place loose grass clippings at the curb. We had several this week. Residents placed them at the curb. Public Works had gone out. The residents called and asked why they weren't being collected. We do not pick them up from curbside and are not collected by Public Works. And we ask that you also do not place grass clippings in your blue recycling cart. So the county did notify me and said that several of the recycling carts had grass clippings in them. So they will not pick them up, and they will not collect recycling until they know that those carts do not have grass clippings in there. So for any residents that did put them in there, they need to be removed, or the county will. They won't pick up the recyclables. They mark the cans and the homes where they were at. Also, we ask, do not blow the grass clippings into the street or leave the curb line along. Obviously, we don't want it getting into our storm drains. Mm-hmm. And then obviously for our motorcyclists and our bicyclists, we want to keep them safe. And then just to go on to some of our department reports, DPW repaired 5 window panes at the train station. In 2023, late 2023, we had contracted with a sprinkler company. who came in and identified all of the sprinkler issues at all of our municipal recreation fields and our parks. That program includes repairs, maintenance, and general startup and shutdown so that we can keep our grounds well maintained. So we've taken those over and we've started to do all those repairs. As part of the sign replacement program that we have, 54 signs were replaced throughout town. The crews jetted West Center from Martin to Thomas Avenue, as well as all of Thomas Avenue to Lippincott and over to South Clinton. After we had received residents' complaints about flooding, there were no real blockages. There were no significant blockages of that. So the flooding was truly attributed to all of that, or the flooding there was attributed all to the heavy rain that we had in the saturated grounds. We're going to continue to investigate that. We're going to continue to keep an eye out, do some extra jetting and some backing, and just see where we wind up with that. And then just our tax collection rate over the same period last year, we were approximately $1.5 million higher over the same, which was good. Water and sewer also experienced a higher than average collections by about $275,000, and our number of dog licenses applied for continued to increase as well. So all collections were up and good. And just as a final reminder, yes, it is Memorial Day, but our offices are closed on Monday. So that's the end of my report.
Awesome, thank you. You ready? Engineers report?
Good evening. Susan's covered a lot of the things from the township's perspective. It's been good to get some synergy and get some of these projects moving and clean up some of the grant applications that are out there to take advantage of those funding. And obviously, Woodard and Kern gave a presentation on status of a lot of the projects. There is that conference tomorrow with the EPA, and this winter was a very tough winter. Yeah, we talked about how average was about 4 inches of rain a month in this area, and we had 11-inch, 7, 8-inch, 9-inch rains for the 5 months. So groundwater levels were very high, and when we got into April, we just got banged at the wastewater plant. That's why we had a lot of sewer system overflows. And I did go out and look, some people were complaining about sump pumps discharging the curb, and you had a constant flow. And you just observe these sump pumps, and they do kick on. They put out a large quantity of water. And so the biggest issue is sump pumps, because what happens if you have direct inflow, you'll see a spike at the wastewater treatment plant, and then after the rain stops, it goes down. Well, this would continue for 2-3 days before the plant flows. So there is a sump pump issue. It's not an easy issue to solve, because as soon as you put it out in the street, now you have icing conditions in the streets, or people are complaining about water running down the curb in front of their houses. I know we've done some projects where we're putting pipes, when you do the road program, if there's inlets down at the end of a street, you can possibly tie in there, but you got to get buy-in from the residents to tie their lines into it, so that's always a challenge. So there's not easy solutions, but EPA is going to be coming after us tomorrow to put some teeth into some kind of, we have an ordinance saying some pumps aren't legal, but they're going to start having some kind of enforcement. They want to see us to some way of doing that. And the only way to do it is somebody goes out there, we start putting a surcharge for having sump pumps, and it's a matter of somebody going out there pulling a clean out certain times of the year, especially in the springtime when the groundwater is higher, and you can see if there's, after a rain event, you can tell if it's pumping or not. So it may be something we have to do that. We'll find out how this meeting goes tomorrow. We're not going to commit to anything, but they do tend to work with you. They don't put a compliance schedule necessarily in place if you're showing a good effort that you're communicating with them and you're trying to resolve the problem. And obviously, this was just a tough year. 2017 was a similar type of year, and that got us into the capacity, or 2019, and that got us into the capacity assurance program. We should have been out of it, but what happened this last winter, and we would be back in it. So we're continuing to put quarterly reports there and deal with those compliance issues. But other than that, the plant, the water plant, and everything ages. You guys do invest in your infrastructure. I give you credit there. So we try to identify the priority projects and put resources to do that. I know that we have County Ave. We're out to bid there for 2 sections where we've had a lot of water main breaks. So we'll hopefully be doing that. And later in the year, we're going to be doing Rose Avenue, another street where we've had a number of breaks. We rejected bids for starting the Main Street force main replacement, where we've had 2 breaks in the last year out along Route 73 coming down in front of CDC, or it's something else now.
Huntsman.
Yeah, Huntsman now. And so we had a plan where we think in the future, if we come across and go up Moore Street and get an easement there. So the bid that we just did recently, we were doing the jack and bore and getting all the way across to that point and then tying back in for the future. The jack and bore came in at $400,000 and put us above our $850,000 budget. So we're going to rebid this next several weeks, and we should have a rebid that we can at least deal with putting all the new piping in, flow meter at the wastewater plant, come down along Route 73. We have all permits in place for that work, and so hopefully we'll have a awardable bid, and we'll make provisions for the jack and bore to be part of the next phase. I really need to meet with the property owners on Morris and going through that way and get easements in place. We have legal descriptions ready. I just have to set up those meetings, and they should be receptive to possibly allowing us to go through there, especially if we take over the private water that's running in there now. So those discussions are forthcoming. So is there any questions? I'd be glad to answer.
Well, I think you did good.
His report was longer than mine.
Was it? Okay. Good job. Back to you, site plan.
The next site plan meeting is June 6th. It's a Thursday night. It's normally Tuesday night, but June 4th is Election Day. So the next site plan will be Thursday, June 6th.
Thank you. New business. We have, Terry, you have a report?
Yes, sir. I received an initiative petition on April 24th, reviewed it, and deemed it sufficient.
Fantastic.
That's my report.
All right, so for that, publication date will be May 29th, and the public hearing on that will be June 13th.
Mayor, just to clarify for the public, the initiative petition attached a form of ordinance that the group would like to see addressed regarding the way the fire agency is constructed. Because the petition is sufficient by law, tonight it is deemed to have been introduced. That's why you won't see a council vote. So the next step will be the public hearing.
Right, perfect, thank you. Thanks for clearing that up.
Mayor, the ordinance number is 2024-11.
Thank you. Any other new business? Everyone good? All right, no need to go back into closed, correct? All right, looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next council meeting scheduled for June 13th, starting at 6:30 PM.
That can't
Thank
be
you.
right.
What?